Boom! Ho! All right, there it is. That is the intro music. That is the Dead Campers with Huck to Flat on YouTube, by the way. And you guys can check them out. But in the meantime, you're checking me out. It's I, the Kristian of Random Kristian. And we are here with our 20th episode in our second season. And guess what? Still got kidney stones, still on painkillers, and they're fully kicking in. So, welcome to it, and welcome to Tuesday, because this is the best way to start the week. You always skip Monday. Just call in sick Monday, and then start your week on Tuesday with us at around 4 o'clock. And then, pretty much at that point, the day's over with, and you can start the evening. And then you're in midweek, and then a couple days, it's Friday. So you're like, whatever, let's do it, right? Okay, so just real quickly, want to say thank you to 5 Point Skate Shop out in Ventura. They are our unofficial sponsor. So if you're ever on the Central Coast, iconic skate shop, been there for over 150 years. I think they pretty much invented skateboarding, but you got to go check them out. Dave, Brad, all the guys out there, insane deals. Barfoot, snowboarding, you got it all down there. So go check them out there in Ventura, right in downtown. That is 5 Point Skate Shops. Also, we're going to push on to Consolidated Skateboards. They're on the web. Check them out anytime you want to. Amazing skateboard products. And their banana chucks are awesome, comfortable shoes. And in case you're wondering, we now are taking orders for a shirt like this. That's right, the Random Kristian Show t-shirts. They are now available, and we are taking orders. So you can just email me at therandomkristianshow@gmail.com and let me know your size and everything. I've got Venmo, I've got PayPal. We'll get you set up. They're I think they said they're going to be about $15 a pop. Sizes small through extra large. Don't quote me on that. I'll let you know though. But in the meantime, and also our other official, unofficial sponsor. Do I look sexy? Yeah, it is. That's right. Chicken poop, baby. Focus. There we go. Focus. Chicken poop. There it is. Yeah, that's right. They're out of Wichita. They make awesome lip balm that smells like Fruity Pebbles and other assorted cereals. And so there you go. That's it for that. And welcome to the show. Thank you so much. We've got all sorts of stuff going on. We're waiting for hopefully Joe C will be checking in with us. And like my daughter in the background there. Hello, Angel. We've got Joe hopefully going to be checking in, giving us some straight up money advice with stocks and investments, because Joe has actually made me feel like a huge idiot. I gave him like $20 to invest in 2 stocks just to show me what he could do on some penny stocks. And I'll tell you, had I put the $100 into each of the stocks like I should have, and that he told me to do, even though I didn't have the money, I should have found a way. I should have stolen some money or something, because I would have been about $5,000 up right now. And the guy knows what he's doing. Hopefully he pops on. If not, he'll be on next week. And also to promote another show that's going to be coming up, I have the ladies from I Live and Bree podcast. That's going to be on a Saturday show, maybe this Saturday, maybe next Saturday. Still waiting for confirmation from them on that. But in the meantime, we have, as always, our good friend, Mr. Matthew from the West Coast. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty darn good. Darn good.
Right on. Well, you smell fantastic.
Well, thank you. I'm feeling fantastic.
Yeah. Well, that's
because this week I'm not. I haven't eaten a Soma. No muscle relaxers for me.
Well, week. Matt, let me tell you what you're missing out on. Hydrocodone, you are my new friend.
Yeah, well, I don't miss
It's really not.
I can drive. That's about all I can do. I mean,
I can drive.
Everything else that I normally do, I could still do on a
Pretty
muscle
much lost
relaxer.
it after having to drive. So, yeah. So anyway, Matthew, everything good out there on the West Coast? Everybody doing well? Life is good. It's a happy time. Happy, fun. Joy. Oh boy.
Sunny California. We had
Spring.
a little rain system. Thought it was coming through. Totally missed us. Well, we caught like the top end of it.
Yeah.
No measurable rain.
So
it was like heavy
still
mist.
in drought conditions.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And within a few months, I'm pretty sure that a third of California will be on fire. So, and not in a good way. And
yeah.
Excuse
me. Very good. All right. Well, speaking of California and getting wet and drinking and driving and all that, I'd like to welcome our guest with us here, Mr. Andy from Rum Regrets podcast. How you doing, bud?
Hello. I'm well. How are you?
Not too bad, my man. You're up in Northern California, correct?
I was.
Oh.
I now live in Salem, Oregon.
Oh.
But I was born in Walnut Creek, and I lived in the Bay Area for 44 years.
Wow. All right.
And then and then on a whim, sort of, because I was working from home all the time, we decided I wanted to buy a house. I just can't do that and working in radio and and living in California. It just wasn't in the cards. So I decided, so we moved up to Oregon. My boss was in Portland anyway, so I was nice and close. So so we live in a beautiful suburb of Salem right now. So
right on.
Yeah.
And I've got a question for you. If you grew up in Walnut Creek, do you know a guy they call they call Ace? Trust me, if you knew Ace, you'd be like, oh yeah, I know that guy. And if you don't know him, then
all right. Well, so my brother is a stand-up comedian on Carnival Cruise Lines, but he was also a stand-up comedian. He started in the Bay Area and worked at Paramount's Great America, what was then Paramount's Great America, but has now just become Great America. Right. He had a variety show with Ace Miles. I don't know if this is the guy that you're talking about. Probably.
No.
All right.
No, it's just Ace.
Okay, yeah.
Just Ace. Just Ace.
Yeah. So the only Bay Area Ace that I know is Ace Miles, because he did a variety show with my brother. Ace Miles is now Captain Jack Spareribs for kids parties and all.
Does he play like goofy kids music?
No, he is like full on Jack Sparrow impersonator. Like he goes to the Northern California Renaissance festivals, the pirate show out in Vallejo, and his schedule's totally booked with this apparently.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, well.
But back when they were doing
the right, man.
Oh no, he does the full stick, and he looks. I mean, it looks as good as any Jack Sparrow impersonator could look.
Or any drunk hippie that's wandering around.
Exactly. Right on. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Back when he was doing the show, it was Ace Miles and Tommy the Wonder Boy. Tommy was my brother, or still is my brother. That was still very much alive.
Predicting the demise of your own brother. That's
right.
Dude, that's kind of rough, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for having me. This is awesome. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Dude, we are so stoked to have you on. Now, I want to talk a little bit about your show. Hold on, I'm gonna. I'm
looking on my other laptop over here, and that picture. If that's not Johnny Depp, then Captain Jack Sparerib looks wow.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh yeah,
I'm telling you, he's great.
Chris, seriously, jackspareribs.com.
All right, hold on. All right, I'm going to try and pull.
Get this guy some business. I mean,
Yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like he's doing way better than us.
Yeah.
Right. No, that is absolutely Ace. That is his website. Yep.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Captain Jack Sparrowribs, right?
Yeah.
7-time award-winning professional pirate for hire. That's the stuff I learn. I love it. I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. This is your one thing you learned today.
I'm gonna go to bed. Call it a day. See you guys.
Oh, dude. Okay. Wow. That
right? I'm not. I mean.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Dude.
So he.
Okay.
What did he and your brother do? Like, what kind of show?
So
just.
There it is. So it was a variety show with comedy and juggling and magic. So
okay.
My brother annoyingly taught himself how to juggle anything and everything while we were growing up, and became one of the, I hate to say, Bay Area premier jugglers, because is that a stat you can really measure? I don't know. But I mean,
you can say it though. Go ahead and say it. That
you might as well throw it out.
So Tommy Drake was one of the Bay Area premier jugglers growing up. But he did, and I can send you some YouTubes to his old shows. But at one point, he could do 9 balls. Like it's just amazing just to see his. Now that's a party. Right. Yeah. And he was for hire for kid shows and all that good stuff. But my other brother, Danny, who is a retired Navy lieutenant, Lieutenant Dan, I've
seen that guy in movies.
Wait a minute.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's a setup. That's a setup.
No, total, yeah. Retired Lieutenant Commander Dan Drake.
That's awesome.
He was a big sleight of hand magician growing up, self-taught and everything, but Tommy also got into that too. And Ace was a huge, close-up magic kind of guy.
Wow.
So that was the show that they put together at Great America, was a magic comedy juggling variety show.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that's
so
a good gig too. I mean,
it was great for them. They had a blast doing it. So
yeah, man. Okay. So these guys are, literally living the dream, because they're doing I seriously, out of all the magic things in the world, the sleight of hand close up magic, I think, is just the most amazing, because it's all deception. I mean, that's all it really is. And it's amazing how easily you are just thrown off. And but they sit there and you're like, how'd that happen? And then they slow it down. They go, here, look. And you're like, holy crap, how did I miss that?
It's like, God, I'm an idiot.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
One of my favorite TV shows of the last few years is Penn and Teller's Fool Us.
Oh yes,
that's a good
one.
Yes.
Where they sit in the auditorium in Vegas and the magicians come up.
Yeah.
And I just recently caught on to a YouTube channel of a magician reacting to Penn and Teller's Fool Us, and he's had some of the magicians on. And I didn't even think of this while I was watching the show, but the magician has to tell the producer how the trick is done.
Oh, okay.
And during the show, when the host is talking to the magician outside of the after the performance, Penn and Teller are talking to the producer saying, "Hey, this is how we think it is." And if it's close enough, obviously, then they don't get fooled. But if any part of it is off, then they get the magician gets the trophy. So
but
I loved watching that show just because, seeing guys like Penn and Teller watch up and coming magicians and not know how something is done is incredible.
Yeah.
So
it's that.
I love watching them get blown away.
I watched that with my daughters. My daughters were just, when I first showed it to them, I was like, I watched it first because it's Penn and Teller. And so I was like, but then when I saw what they were doing, I was like, oh yeah, girls, you got to see this. And then they got so hooked on it, dude. They were watching reruns. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah. Lunchtime? Oh no.
It's my pee jar. You mind?
Yeah. I was going to say, it sounds like I'm getting rid of my kidney stones.
I'm trying to find a less loud way to drink to refill my coffee cup because you don't like it when it goes glug 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 glug. So,
well, okay. I'm sorry. Now, hey, let me throw this out at Andy here for a second.
Yeah.
Andy, you've heard of the ASMR stuff, right? You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking
Right.
about? With
Yeah.
people
No.
sit there
Absolutely.
and okay. So I did kind of a show with some of that. Just we all kind of did a little bit, and
Mhm.
I just it annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah.
It's like somebody sitting there chewing in your ear with their mouth open, and you just want to punch someone.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so so Matt thinks it's funny now that he can do things like that.
So does this happen on every cast now, where you just find one little thing to try to annoy?
I don't try to find anything. I just manage to.
It just happens, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It just shows up. Well,
I'm just good like that.
and my other another friend of mine that shows up on the show every now and then, Brian, he he uses his AirPods
Oh
to
yeah.
do the show with, and you know that picks up everything. And so like he will well when he first started,
Oh,
he would be doing work from home and like
Yeah.
doing this angry typing.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's trying to do the show, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "You're getting mad at somebody, aren't you?" And he's like, "What? No, no, I'm just typing." I'm like, "Dude, you're typing angry. You're doing angry
Right.
typing." Hmm.
Yeah, I'm so guilty of angry typing, especially like during meetings too, because I'm just far enough down the hill that I don't really have to talk during my meetings for work. You know, like I just sort of have to check in, and so there's a lot of sort of work going on. So I purposely set up my office with quiet stuff,
Oh yeah.
just so I don't annoy, because I can't find the mute button all the time, and I always screw it up, and I'm not. So it's yeah. I purposely have quiet stuff now, just so I don't annoy everybody, because it always happens.
well, supposedly my both the laptops, my little netbook here, and my main one are quiet keyboards.
Oh yeah.
They're not when you're doing something like this.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
just, like you know when I'm over here googling something.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm
which,
I'm not a very good quiet typer kind of guy. Well, plus, I mean, look at these oven mitts for hands. I can I press a button, I make it go boom. Yeah. So that's I have no computer skills at all. So and
he calls me up to ask me stuff. That's how
Oh
bad
yeah.
his computer skills are, and mine are like not much better.
Well,
Oh
back in
yeah.
my day, we didn't even have computers. We just had rocks
Abacuses.
that we had. Abacuses were those advanced smarty brain people over in Asia. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't need your fancy ad machines over here. Come on,
Right,
kids.
right. We just put things together and we go, that's what it equals. And if you don't like it, too bad. That's what you get.
Dude, that is such a great Grandpa Simpson impression. I mean,
That's actually my angry old man from Dana Carvey on Saturday Night Live.
oh
Or grumpy
yeah,
old man.
okay,
Grumpy old man.
right. That's right. Yeah. No, but it's so close to a really good Grandpa Simpson. You could definitely evolve that into it.
Because you do a good Homer. It's just mix the two.
That's true. Oh, there he is.
That's right. Dave.
Yeah, and I really hope you
in front of my
watched last
father.
week,
That's stupid.
because
old
last
man
week he's
doesn't know
on
what he's talking
painkillers.
about.
I'm on muscle relaxers, and I sit here and have a conversation with Homer, and it was hilarious to me.
Hey, we were all just a little having fun there. That's all it's about. Woohoo!
Good
Oh,
times.
that's
Good
great.
times.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Homer popped in for a little while, and Homer may slip back in later.
All right.
Because yeah, these pain pills work good things. So yeah, that's this is my show, by the way. That's why it's called the Random Kristian Show. It just kind of goes here and there.
Our show does a little bit of the same arc. We try to have topics for our show, but a lot of the times, I mean, we abandon ship really quickly sometimes just to keep the conversation flowing, because you can't tame good conversation. You can't come in and say, hey, we're going to talk about this. And if it's not a topic that, I mean, we have 3 people on our podcast. If it's not a topic that everybody's sort of into,
right,
then it's 2 people talking, and then you have one person saying, and then sometimes you just sort of have to egg somebody on. And if you jump off the rails, you jump off the rails. That makes for great podcasts.
Yeah,
you know,
it really does. And, like my wife listens to it. She goes, you just like to hear yourself talk, don't you? I'm like, no, that's not what it's about. We just kind of go all over the place. And this was how my old radio show was. I really would go in with a very loose agenda, and it drove my production manager just nuts. Oh my God.
All right. But you're a radio guy.
Right.
I mean, you made your money having one-sided conversations for years.
Well,
and it's an art. I mean, it really is an art, because when I was sort of bright-eyed and bushy-tailed going to UC Santa Barbara, and I knew I wanted to go into radio, I was like, oh, I want to be on air. Like, I want to do it. And then I finally talked to some people, and it's like, I can't do that. Like, I can't, I can't, like I could fill a minute, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I could fill 2 minutes. And then when I talked to some sports radio people that just talked, and they said, well, we have guests, but a lot of times we have to have these one-sided conversations for hours.
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh yeah.
How do you do that? So you got to love to hear yourself talk a little bit to do this, just because it's the gig, and it's, and it's what we do. And obviously we wouldn't do it if we didn't love it. Right.
Oh no. Yeah. And, that's why I come up with these voices every now and then to do. Joy.
Yeah, because you got to talk to somebody else. You can't just talk to yourself. Well,
pretty much. Unless it's me, you sick little monkey. So, yeah, that's really my world. And then, of course, I could do wacko and have a lot of fun doing that, except I don't know my sibling's voice. Yeah. So this is the world Matt gets stuck with too. So,
all right. There you go. That's a really, really funny. Yeah. That's pretty good. You're doing fantastic.
Yeah.
But the one that gets me is whenever he does the Dana Carvey old man voice. For some reason, it makes me so uncomfortable. I find it funny, but at the same time, it's cringy funny, and
sure,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about cringy funny, but
I want to ever discourage him from it. So.
Well, no.
And it comes out way too easy to flibberty flab.
Yeah, but I think everybody has that one register that just sort of grates on them in a very uncomfortable way. And, I mean, it's the it's the Jim Carrey, the Dumb and Dumber. You guys want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what that old man voice does to me. It's just like,
yep.
I don't know.
Which
but it's
totally amuses me. So
right. So I mean, which is why I'll never say, "Oh, could you not do that voice?" Because who cares?
Right. Yeah.
Ultimately, that's half the fun.
Yeah.
I mean, and if I don't like it, I can always just hang up, right?
Well, pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, internet problems. Sorry.
Click.
Connection.
And then I just sit here going, Matt.
Wow. Yeah.
Matt?
You go. Yeah.
I'm all alone now. It's just me and the voices in my head. Shut up. They're not all alone.
Yeah, then you go to the Garth trying to cover for Wayne when Wayne leaves the show, and
Okay, so now speaking of shows, let's get. I want to hear a little more bit. I've listened to your show. I think it's great. I think it's.
I appreciate
you guys
that.
Obviously are having a great time, so that's fun. Now it's called Rum and Regrets, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and you guys are, and you seem to stick to fairly, and no offense, nerdy topics like,
No, absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, your video games, your the Marvel universe,
Yeah.
DC, and you, in that genre,
No.
you
Yeah.
stick right
Basically.
around
Yeah.
their movies.
Yeah. Your pop culture, comic book movies, comic book TV shows.
That was the word I was looking for, pop culture.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, anything, because a lot of sort of what we do now. I mean, and we're all people with families. There are two other people on the podcast with me. My friend Nate, who I've known for several years. My friend Joe, who I initially met her, God, at least 20 years ago when I started dating her sister. And it was that was sort of the one thing we came together on, was sort of sitting around and talking about just sort of all this crap over, over a couple drinks. And then there was a point where I lived in a house with Joe with three other people. It was a big house in the Walnut Creek hillside. And this is when Lost was good. The TV show Lost was sort of in its third and fourth season, and it was really good.
Before
right?
it started,
Before it started getting lost. Like
I enjoyed the whole thing all the way through, but I know exactly what you're talking about. There was, after a certain point, you're like, I'll keep watching, but it's just, where are you going with this?
Right. It starts out so strong, and it goes, and you're like, fourth season was the high point. You're just like, oh, this is great. And then, like a couple of mishits, and you're like, well, they got to bring it around. It's like it's like your favorite sports team trying to, like, starting out really strong, but then faltering a little bit in the third quarter, and then, like, they got to bring it back, and they just
they'll get it.
Right.
Yeah.
So we all lived in this house, and we had what we called a Taco Wednesday, where I would drop about $100 at Safeway, cook up this big, like, taco thing. We would watch Lost, we would drink, and we would just talk about just sort of everything, coming out.
Now hold on real quick. $100 at Safeway. How much of it was on booze? How much of it was on tacos?
Okay, so I just handled the food part. I did not handle the booze part. The booze part was brought by the other people. So
that is a lot of tacos.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking you were going to say, well, it was about $90 booze and $10 of tacos.
Right.
Actually, we just bought a bag of Doritos and
all right, yeah. No, got the 24 taco pack from Taco Bell, and that was the $9.99, and I was out the door. And so it was funny because it just started out with the people at the house and their significant others, which was about 8 people, but then at one point grew to like 40 people coming over, during the week. And like some people were like, oh man, I look forward to this. You can't stop doing it. Right. And so it sort of grew, and like everybody, we'd set up TVs outside so people could smoke and drink outside and still watch the show.
Oh, dude, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Full service Taco Wednesday, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like it.
And so, so from there, and then, and this went on strong for about 2 years. And then I was living with Joe's sister at the time, who was part of this group, but then we broke up, and that was sort of the beginning of the end of Taco Night.
In many different forms. I might say that the tacos ended on 2 different levels there.
Right. Yeah.
So there was no tacos during or after.
Right.
You know what I'm saying there? Yeah. What up with tacos?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
No.
I get carried away on my little tangents. So.
No, it's all good. And so, so the core group ended up staying together and sort of continuing these nerdy talks, of just sort of what we're watching. And we'd all go to movies together. We'd all hang out together. And at one point, Nate was like, dude, we got to start a podcast. And this is when it wasn't prevalent for everybody to have a podcast. You know, this is when like Hardwick started doing the Nerdist podcast and all that stuff. And so we just,
and you
we
had
got
to have a lot of equipment and all this extra crap and internet feeds and
I mean, USB microphones did not exist. Like, you couldn't just plug into a computer and go. Like, you needed a mixing board. You needed something special to do it.
Yeah, the whole interface and yeah, dude.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that was about $5,000 worth of equipment right there.
Oh, yeah. No, you needed to commit to it. You absolutely needed to commit to it to start it. And I always sort of laughed it off with Nate. I'm just like, oh, you know, we're never gonna get off our asses to start a podcast. And he said this for 3 years, and then finally, he was just like, "Can we just start this thing already?" And we're like, "Fuck. Well, what do we got to get?" And by this time, it's like, okay, USB microphone, plug it in. Oh, all right, Audacity's free. I could mix this with. All right, let's do this. Let's try this out. And at this point, the second Star Wars sequel trilogy came out, The Last Jedi, and so we were just like, oh, this has got to be number one. This is going to be our first podcast. This is going to be great. And Joe was just like, hey, can I come? So Joe was initially our guest for the first podcast. We had such a great time with her. We're just like, Joe, you want to do this? Like, do you want to do this with us? She's like, fuck yeah, we'll do this. So
right on.
Yeah. So, this is happening.
So yeah, that was sort of the birth of the podcast, and we didn't want to limit ourselves. Like, we just wanted to keep it as natural as possible. We just like stuff that we like I said before, that we were all sort of excited to talk about and get into and dig into, and it's still sort of a challenge with us to find that one topic that we can all get together within that 2 week. Because we record every 2 weeks because we all have lives. Nate is a single dad, and so has half custody of his daughter right now, and so we can record on certain nights. And then Joe is taking care of her father-in-law, and so how that can go with all that. So scheduling is a little bit. So we came down like, okay, every other Tuesday we're going to record. And then it was like, well, crap, now we need a topic every other Tuesday.
And it's not that easy. I mean, I started off doing the show twice a week. Mm-hmm. And well, first I started out, I think, once every other week. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going for it. So I started doing 2 a week.
Yeah.
It ain't that easy.
No.
And, I don't know why in radio I could, again, that was an everyday thing, 5 days a week, sometimes 6. And I'd walk in, of course I was single. I lived and breathed, everything I was doing.
Oh yeah.
But now, I've got all sorts of, distractions. We'll politely call it that. It's just life. I've got another job.
Private areas of your life now.
Yeah.
Whereas earlier when you were younger, like, who cares? Tell them everything.
Yeah. So, I have to learn to really edit myself a lot more than I used to. I can tell you that much. So, I totally get it. It's even every other week you're like,
right. Yeah. So, I mean, if you look down our episode list, I want to say maybe 5 of the last 20 are random, are literally random topics. It's like a random chat number 1, and then especially when COVID hit, we had like check-in 1, check-in 2, check-in 3 of just us like, okay, here, this is what we're doing this week, and and it wasn't anything driven. So, and it's funny too, like looking at our analytics, those have the highest sort of return rate for us.
Right.
Those random ones. And it makes sense because, like, if you see that we're talking about a Marvel show and you don't like that show, you're not going to tune in and listen, even if you like the people, you know. I mean, you might, even if you like really, really like the people and just like hearing them talk about stuff, you might come in. But like, if you're not a fan of the show or invested in the show in any way, shape, or form, or the movie,
right,
you're not going to care.
Yeah, you don't. So, you really don't, and that's why I really tried. It's like for a while there, I was like, I'm going to give these guys a topic, you know, at least so we have something to work off of. And then I was like, you know, I'm going back to just the whole winging it thing.
Yeah.
It works best. It's like improv comedy. You just kind of come in, you have a loose idea what you're going to do, and then you run with it.
Right.
And
well, and
if
you
it
get to
works,
know,
great. If not, yeah.
Yeah, and you get to know people a little bit better that way because all these, you know, the conversation just naturally takes you in a weird way. I mean, who knows that within 5 minutes I'm going to tell you guys about Captain Jack Sparrow's just because you said Ace from Walnut Creek.
Right.
You know,
right.
I mean, it's just so weird, you know, and that's the real beauty of this, you know, of this is just sort of getting to meet people, getting to talk on these subjects, and yeah, just, you know, just sort of getting to shoot the proverbial, you know, crap for a little bit.
Right. Absolutely. But that's what keeps it real too. And that's what people want.
Right.
People want to hear real people being real. And, you know, and yeah, you know, I try to open up the chat. Oh, well, crap. I forgot about that.
He tries, but it doesn't always work. And
anybody want to join in on the chat, by the way, please feel free. I apologize. It doesn't look like many people have tried. I've seen people popping in and out here.
I need to tell my brother what time we're doing this show again. So I think he's lost. I think he's like, I don't think they do it anymore.
Yeah, his brother used to pop on and give us all sorts of great stuff.
Because if he was listening to it live right now, he'd be commenting on. He loves Magic.
Oh, like,
yeah. He's like I enjoy Magic, but he watches all those any of the shows about Magic. Like he loves it.
Yeah,
and it's just fascinating to him. But I've known a few magicians or people that are trying to be magicians, and they're annoying. I mean, when it comes like those guys, it's just like, what?
Is it like those guys that everything is a magic trick? They're like, hey, look at this.
Yeah, and you're just like, come on, man. Like, not everything's like, you don't have to be on all the time.
Yeah. And they're like, let me see your phone. Let me see your phone. You're like, no. You can't buy me another $1,000 phone, you freaking magic weirdo.
But the one guy that was always on was actually really good. I mean, but it was just like, you'd see him and you'd be like, I'm really not in the mood for this right now. Because I also worked with him. Like he was,
he's like, hey, watch.
Yeah, you're like, I know you're not really doing that. I know you still have both your thumbs.
Right.
And you're like, come on, man. Like, but one of the other guys was just bad at it. And it's just like, if you didn't take yourself so seriously, if you turned it into a comedy act and did bad magic, I could watch that all day. That'd be hilarious. Like,
but it's hard. You really need to know what you're doing to be watchable at Magic. And one of my favorite shows to come out in the last few years is Magic for Humans with Justin Willman on Netflix.
Oh yeah, great show. Great show.
Such a good show, and he's sort of right on that level that you're talking about of just keeping it funny but keeping it simple and but good at the same time.
Right.
And dude, some of the stuff he does, you're like, there's got to be some kind of video trick here, because he does some pretty outrageous things that you're like, there's no way.
And I'm going to say something that might piss some people off, but I don't like Chris Angel.
Yeah, that
really annoys me, and I think there's a lot of wires going on, and I don't care how hidden they are. You're not really flying, buddy. You're not even hovering.
Yeah, no, and a lot of my references just go back to movies I've seen, because that's pretty much what I like. But I don't know if you guys watch this, because not a lot of people watch it. But the Steve Carell, Steve Buscemi, The Incredible Burt Wonderstone. Did you guys see that movie? So
no,
Jim,
but I like those people. So
well,
it's one of those.
Yeah,
I like movies, but I don't see a lot of them. How's that?
No, that works. That is an acceptable answer for this.
I would like to see that film eventually. It's on my. It's probably on one of my lists of watch lists somewhere.
So the best way to describe this movie is a total guilty pleasure. But when you said Chris Angel, Jim Carrey plays a Chris Angel type magician in the movie, and it's brilliant.
I did see that. I did see that. That was a great movie. I forgot. Oh my god, I forgot all about that movie. Okay,
and so
sorry.
it is. No, it's great.
I can him doing a great riff on that too.
It's amazing, and where he ends up at the end is perfect. Like it's if you get a chance, watch it. I guarantee you'll be entertained. Like it's no Schindler's List, that's for sure, but you're gonna love it.
Never seen Schindler's List.
Yeah,
I heard it was good.
It's supposed to be a great film.
Yeah,
one of those movies you must see before you die.
Right.
So I think I'm gonna live forever.
Yeah.
It's one of those uplifting films that make you slit your wrist.
There you go. Get the cars in here.
Yeah, a little, and I got to keep it kind of down low, otherwise YouTube tries to shut down my thing. So as long as we keep talking over it, it's cool. But if I
No, I gotcha. Yeah.
So I just put in some little background music.
Oh, that's great.
Magic. So, all right. So now, okay, now your show. How? Okay, I'm trying to think of the best. How jacked up have you guys gotten on your show before? Because you do drink during the show.
So, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. So when I was still in,
what the hell was that?
I don't know. I didn't have no idea.
It started playing. I should have had a plug. I should plug it in to the speakers that aren't on, because just ignore me.
No, it's fine. I thought I looked at my phone. I'm like, what the hell did I just do?
It's a little meat puppets for you.
So we started the podcast before I moved to Oregon, and the first year of us podcasting was all of us in the same room around one microphone.
Oh wow!
So the first year. And it's like it's a casual sort of burn with the alcohol in that first year. So, like none of our podcasts got above, I don't think, like a half an hour that first year, just because, right? But let me say with a huge caveat, we did record one Rum and Regret After Dark, which was.
Was it sexy?
No. Well, kind of.
Depends on what you're into, man.
All right. Yeah. Depends on what your definition of sexy is. So we had talked about it, and we were going to do our lists. You know, your list of people that you want to.
Oh, right. That
was our thing, and. We did it. We started recording at about 10 at night after we were a good maybe 3 or 4 shots in with the mixed drink. And
that's the only way to get the truth to come out.
No,
you got to be a little lubed and.
Yeah. So my wife was on the cast. Her sister was on the cast. Like we had probably a round table of maybe 8 people, and. Like we initially started, like, we're going to go through our list and the conversation just devolved into, oh my God, she's so hot. We were misnaming people. Like, I think I misnamed 3 different actors. And so when I finally edited it and put it online, Nate's IMing me in our Google chat. He's like, who's this person? Who is that person? I'm like,
oh my God.
So and then when I moved up to Oregon and we had to figure out how to do the virtual cast, the drinking sort of like subsided, and like now it's really like a casual, like one drink during the show. So it's more of a gimmick now than what it started to be. And and like ultimately, like we would love to make money from the podcast and like just have it sort of pay for itself in that regard. And But then
Right.
like Nate was reading, it's like, I guess it's like 10 times more difficult to get anybody to sign off on your podcast if there's alcohol in the name. It's like, oh, you're probably right. And then like we talked about, do we want to rebrand it? Like, are we really like that greedy that we want to, or do we want to like just continue to talk and have fun? And I mean, naming something is, I mean, you've named people, right? And that's
Right.
really hard to come. That's really hard to come by, right? it's like that's gonna be your name for the rest of your life. People are gonna call you this. People are gonna call you things. So like when we decided and we recorded, went like the naming process of the podcast, and
oh wow,
I bet that was fun.
It was, and because we had so many ideas on what we wanted to do, but then the whole part of it was that these great conversations that we had came from us having rum drinks, sitting around a fire pit in someone's backyard, right? And then waking up the next morning having all sorts of regret on all the drinking that we did the night before.
Right.
And like, but man, it was such a great time, but oh man, I'm paying for it today. So that was...
And we should have been recording that.
Exactly. So that's it. Made the most sense for us, for our group of people, to do it like this.
Yeah.
So
see, and that's the problem with me and Matt. We get on the phone, we start talking to each other about
always be recording.
Yeah.
Right.
I will call him like on the way home from work before the podcast, and we'll just just say, hey, you're going to be in today, and this is what I'm thinking, and then we start going off on these tangents, and we're like, go, shut up, just shut up, don't say anything. I'll get home, and we'll just remember this, and then we get on, and we're like,
right. I get so much crap from the other two because I'm the one ultimately pressing the record button on the stream, and a lot of the best stuff happens pre and post.
Dude.
And so they're like,
that's the other thing. And then once we sign off, and then I stay on, and we'll usually chat for like 5 or 10 more minutes with each other, because we live thousands of miles away from each other now, and more great stuff comes out. It's like
and that's exactly. And so I mean, it was like 3 months. So like, Andy, when you start it up, press record. Just press record.
just hit it.
You can edit it out.
Right. And it's fine. Just make a note of the time when you actually bring us in, because I try to, I try to have an intro and an outro to every podcast. And there was a running joke for the first year that I just could never get it right. We had like an outro that we wrote, and I would never look at it. I would never reference it. And I would always bail on it halfway through. And so finally I got it down, but like the magic, you guys nailed it, happens before and after. And I need to record it, and I need to put that up afterwards, just saying, the Snyder cut, if you will, of our latest podcast.
This is the unedited version.
Right.
And we'll see. And that's why I started, when I found out about this whole restream thing and all that.
Yeah.
Because we originally started with my show on doing a video chat so we could all see each other. So we could feed off each other a little better, because it, when you're all blacked out, you can't, it's really hard to know when somebody's talking, or you're trying to cue somebody and you'd be like, hey, yeah.
Or if you want to say something and you're like, you can't go, hello. All you hear is,
So that's how we started with this, and then I found out about this restream thing, and I never read it in my shows. I just always shoot from the hip. You get what you get and roll with it.
Right.
That's why there was a lot of cursing in my radio show, that I'd have the dump button happen every now and then.
Right.
But of course, those were different times, and we all mature after a while. I'm instead of 13 years old, I'm now 15.
Right.
But then I found out about this, and I'm like, well, you know what? People like to watch this at this, and everybody was like, yeah, dude, put it on YouTube. Yeah. I'm like, seriously? And they're like, oh, dude, I swear to God. And once I hit YouTube, all of a sudden I'm getting all these people, and I'm like, okay, right on, man, let's bring it.
And I think that's the next step for us, because I ingest a lot of my podcasts through YouTube. And that's the one place that we aren't right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just because I'm cheap, and like I don't do a lot of editing either. So
Yeah.
I do my best to get out my ums and uhs because they come a lot, and I now know the exact wavelength of my ums and uhs. So I don't even have to listen. Like I can just go in and pick them out.
Ours is anyway.
Right.
So that's our biggest one.
We've worked on that pretty well, I believe, though, over the last few months. We've really
we've gotten a lot more.
We have kind of worked on that.
Right.
Anyway.
Anyway.
I don't edit a whole lot of our stuff out either. It's only unless there's like a huge audio issue that I need to replace somebody's like entire track with something else, or if like someone has to pee during the cast, and like we have our let's all go to the lobby. Sometimes we have that. It's like 2 to 3 minutes that I just got to take out just because someone couldn't hold their booze for for that amount of time. So
hey, right now you're talking to Kidney Stone Boy here. And,
well, the way we do that on this show is you just go, I'll be right back.
Right.
And you leave. You just go.
Right. But
which I had to do last week. Or no, was it the week or week before?
No, it was last week you left.
Matt, you got this. And I ran out and went to the restroom.
I can talk with other people, but when it's talking to yourself, it was like, I hope you didn't watch that part of the show, Chris, because it's pretty bad.
It was sexy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little turned on.
Wasn't bad.
No. And that's one part that I want to move us over to YouTube at one point. Nate isn't entirely comfortable being on camera yet, and I know that there are ways to sort of get out, scratch out his video so it's just his voice. So I want to get there, and it's just a matter of me having like a spare hour here and there just to go in there and actually do it. So,
Are you okay, Chris?
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah, just remembered why I'm on the pain pills. Dude, sometimes it's just like all of a sudden there's a screwdriver being driven through my abdomen, man.
You sure that's not my voice? I thought I had a really pleasant voice to talk to.
Whoa, that was good. That was good and annoying. Good Lord, Andy, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Go, Mr. Man with the thing. Go, Flavin.
Oh God, how good is Hank Azaria?
Oh my God,
he's just amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And our favorite Hank Azaria character is Mo, by the way.
Oh God, yeah.
Moose is like the garage. The garage.
What do you call him, Mo?
Got the car hole.
What's a car hole? Is that where you're selling all your fancy designer jeans from?
Oh God! By far,
the Simpsons from the mid '90s. That's where we're stuck.
Oh yeah, no. My favorite bit on The Simpsons. Well, one of my favorite bits is the prank phone calls to the bar.
Oh God!
I was really bummed when this kind of petered out.
Oh yeah. But I
really
love that bit.
Dude, I'm
gonna find you. I'm gonna.
I'm gonna stab your face 5 times.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you get him, Mo.
Yeah.
That's right, Mo. Go get him.
Oh man.
Yeah, I have a plethora of voices that tend to pop out, Andy. I'm sorry.
No, that's great. I turned British after a few rum drinks, so it just comes out and it just starts to happen, and it's just there. It goes and it's crazy, and somebody wants a drink. We're all drinking.
You sound like oh my God! You know who you sound like? What's his name from the the talent show. Well, the guy everybody loves.
The mean guy.
Simon?
Yeah.
Simon.
Okay. Do it again.
Oh no, this is my drink. Oh, it totally does sound like Simon Cowell. No, this is my drunk British voice. This is what we do. This is when Friday night, Saturday night, you can catch me talking like this at about 10 p.m. That's just what it is.
That's what happens. Long Island iced teas do that to my brother.
Oh
man, I really got to let him know that we're doing the show Tuesdays at 2:00 our time.
At 4 Central. That's right. Join in every time. Plenty of room to chat if you want to, because I've got the chat up now instead of ignoring everybody who is listening.
3 o'clock Mountain.
3 Mountain, 2 Pacific, 5. Man, you're making me do math, man.
I know, right?
5 Eastern, 5 Eastern, 4 Central, 3 Mountain, 2. And Arizona, you just figure out your own time. Because that's
who knows?
Tune in.
I think they're
anarchists.
They're my time right now, I believe. Or wait,
no. Where I want to put my evil air. That's right.
No, they're an hour.
State liquidated.
They're an hour behind us right now, I believe. Arizona, behind me.
They're on Hawaii.
Or are they an hour ahead?
They're on because they don't do daylight savings.
Right. No. Yeah, I know. So they mirror up with Pacific time 6 months, right? And then they're off.
Are they mountain? Yeah, are they mountain?
I don't get it. No, I'm not sure.
Because
why do we have daylight savings time anyway? It's so annoying.
Hey Siri, what time is it in Flagstaff, Arizona? And Siri doesn't want to talk to me right now.
Yeah.
My Siri is so uppity. Hey Siri, what time is it in Flagstaff, Arizona?
It's 3 p.m. in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Oh, so yeah, it's
so it is mirrored
synced up with the Pacific right now.
Oh, so you have a British Siri, do you?
Yeah, the American one just sounds mean.
Yeah, I changed mine to Irish because. By the way, Andy, we are huge in Ireland.
Oh, really?
Oh my good Lord Almighty! My Facebook and YouTubes are huge in Ireland.
Oh wow! Okay.
I don't know why, but we love Ireland. We love you very much. And then Jamaica, Albania, Germany. What was some of the other ones? I don't know. Anyway, those are some of our biggest listeners there. So
the Rum and Regret podcast has listeners in Puerto Rico, the Ukraine, France, and the UK, with just a little bit from Russia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Ooh.
What? Yeah. Ooh, the Grenadines. Oh,
yeah.
Grenadine is a very important ingredient.
Oh, very much. Very much so. So those are our people right there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. All right, hold on. Yeah, I'm just double checking before I shoot my mouth off too far here. But yeah, it was okay, where's my YouTube? I'm sure this is so interesting for everybody listening, but yeah, now we get to see, we nerd out on our shows. That's what we do.
Right. It's your show and you can cry if you want to.
Oh, and Matt.
What?
Matt, who is Kathy Lizardo? Do you know her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's my big sister.
Oh, that's your sister.
Is she watching, listening right now? Hey, Kathy, I should probably get back to you on Messenger. Thanks for the package you sent me. Our dad passed away a couple years ago, and he had been starting to separate out some stuff before he passed away, and I had some old school photos and a couple report cards she sent me.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Along with, and this is hilarious because my dad loved Photoshop, and he somehow, we can get this up here, he loved this photo of me, and I believe this is at my brother's first wedding, and he would Photoshop that picture of me That's just one. Let me see if I can-
Everything.
I've got a couple of them here.
Here's Matt
And-
in a submarine.
Right.
Yeah. No, seriously. I mean,
And here's Matt on top of Mount Everest.
Right.
My son's been an amazing explorer.
The world
and
tour
here's
of Matt.
me. The same photo. It's kind of
Are you on the
like some cliffs somewhere. Like it's just, he's hilarious. And that's not the only. I mean, there's probably like 3 or 4 more running around. That same photo of me photoshopped. I believe there's because I was on Maui for a while. I helped open a restaurant.
And
Which I think this is when he went to Maui, he took a picture and then photoshopped me into it.
are you wearing like a parka?
I know. I love the shirt and tie on the beach.
Right? No,
Because if you were on a
You're
it's
in
a
Hawaii.
black
Beach.
shirt
Formal.
and a 80s skinny striped tie.
right, yeah, if you were on a beach in Hawaii, that's exactly what you would be wearing.
Well, yeah.
And when he went to Hawaii, he was packing and he had all these jeans. I'm like, don't you have a pair of shorts? He's like, oh, I got swim trunks. I'm like, no, like shorts, like regular, like shorts. Like you don't own shorts. He's like, well, I haven't worn short pants since I was 12. I'm well, A, they're not called short pants, and B, go buy some. You're going to Hawaii. You're going to be miserable.
Okay,
See,
but
the humidity and heat over here is insane. So
but they were probably called short pants the last time he wore shorts. So can you really fault him for calling them short pants if that was the last legal name when they wore him? When they wore
Yes, get with the times, Grandpa. Come on.
back in my day, we didn't call them short pants. We just called them midget pants. That's what they were. We take them off little midgets and we beat them up and we go, oh, look, I'm wearing your pants. And we dance around and we throw rocks at each other and we'd be happy and we'd be sad and then everything would fall apart and we'd cry and get drunk and then beat up the midget one more time and put his pants back on and walk around naked. And that's the way it was and we liked it. Fiddly flab. See,
but what's funny is then after he came back from Hawaii, he's like, "Oh, thanks for the tip." Like, I believe it's like one of the first things when you go to. Oh, so you're going to go visit Hawaii website? Like bring shorts. Don't wear jeans.
Right. Yeah.
And then he used to wear them all the time. He loved them.
Sunny over in Hawaii. There's a
Once
big
he found
ocean
out
all
about
around
it,
there.
he wore them all the time. We live on the Central Coast in California. I wear shorts 90% of the time.
Yeah. I think we need to bring short pants back. I absolutely think that needs to come back.
What KJ's doing right now, that's what my wife does every time I say short pants.
We're starting a thing. We're going retros. It's all short pants now.
Honey, I need more short pants.
What was weird? What was weird was that picture showed up in a Tijuana donkey bar. And Matt was right there, and he's like, "Here's my son. He was he was in the show. It was really weird. Kind of sad for the donkey, and we were all sad. But
I don't
Matt
even
was
want to
proud.
know what that is. That's something I'm never going to Google.
No, Google it. Get the Goog out.
Nope.
Get the Goog.
Nope. Not going to do it. Not going to do it.
I think your dad needs. It would be. I think the final sort of like fun part, like the final tribute to your dad, would to be just to make a wall calendar with all those photos in them.
Yeah.
God, that would be awesome.
Dude, you could do that with Shutterfly. It's easy. I make these calendars for my parents of their grandchild. Every year.
Died, I would.
Right, I know, but I think it would just be funny as like a family gift for the remaining family. Like
oh my God, it'd be like Where's Waldo except with Matt.
Right. Yeah.
Here's a picture of Mars, and there's Matt right over here.
So I'm gonna have to get my sister to go see if his computer is still available, so she can rummage through it and see big guy, I love Photoshop.
All right, so Matt's got his Christmas list figured out, and that's awesome.
Right. Yeah.
And it's only May. Dude, hey, you know what though? You could market that, and then everybody's like, "What is this? This is awesome. Who is this guy? Why is he at a donkey club in Tijuana? What's going on?
Yeah.
That's called a hook. That's called a hook. And that's a comedy phrase right there, baby.
It's the soundbite from the show. You got it. That's the Twitter bring-in right now from the show.
Oh,
beautiful.
Oh yeah, that is awesome.
And don't give them ideas because now, man.
Sorry.
There goes our next show.
This is my problem. I speak way too off the cuff, and the magic just happens like that, and it just
what are you gonna do?
creates problems for everybody past it. It really does. So it's something that I'm working on. I'm trying to be better about it, but I
don't. You're doing great.
Nah, give that up.
Yeah.
Just go. Yeah. Roll with it, baby.
Yeah.
If I got embarrassed that easy, I wouldn't be on. I wouldn't.
Oh
this.
no, absolutely not. Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's the good part about literally sitting down and talking with your friends is the ribbing back and forth from knowing them so well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And a ton of that happens on our cast just because it's just like we were back in the same room.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's one of the things I really enjoyed about it. I mean, you guys were just so loose and just feeding off each other. It was great.
Yeah.
It was really entertaining. I did. I mean, I gotta say, I sat there and I was at work and I was listening through an earpiece while I'm running around. I work on a dock. Okay. And I'm a manager on a dock. So I'm like walking around and like people sitting there talking to me. I'm like, hold on. What are you listening to? I'm like, oh yeah, never mind. Go ahead.
Just a show.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it. Again, thanks so much for listening and reaching out and having me on. It's very cool that you're doing this with other podcasts too. I love it. I think it's great.
Now you guys are on every other week or
every other week. We record every other Tuesday, and I try to edit to release by Friday. Like we try to have a regular schedule, but if it's something that's sort of extra special and we feel that we're missing sort of a time part of it, I'll get off my butt and edit as soon as I can.
Yeah.
Right. No, and like I said before, like I don't touch our audio that much. So it's not a terrible process for me to edit a show.
Right. It's not heavy.
But I want to make
or anything.
But I do need and that's one thing of me just being sort of I don't want to call it a perfectionist, but just sort of a completionist is I need to listen front to end. Like I can't have any, I can't just assume that everything works out,
Yeah. No, yeah. I get it. But that's what makes it, again, great to listen to,
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I think the more natural is the more people want to hear that. Everybody that I've talked to, they're like, oh, you do a podcast. What's it about? And I'm like, everything.
Yeah.
I say, and I just tell them I start with one thing and it goes about 20 different ways. And then I try to pull it all together at the end. And, we try to keep it within 5 hours. So,
right.
And they're like, what? I'm like, no, yeah. But I mean, I think the longest we've ever gone was 2 hours.
I think, yeah.
And
but those are the really good shows where the conversation is just so natural. Like one of the podcasts that I really enjoy listening to is Michael Rosenbaum's Inside of You podcast, where he, so Michael Rosenbaum played Lex Luthor on Smallville, the CW show, the Superman show,
okay.
And he has a podcast, now where he talks to other actors, but it's not necessarily about like their acting and their shows and their stuff. Like he talks about, their sort of state of mind, their mental illness, like if they have any sort of, like mommy and daddy issues, like stuff like that. Like it's a very loose sort of off the cuff podcast, and it's not a typical like Sean Astin was on, the guy who played Samwise in Lord of the Rings, and he was the main in Goonies, and he's done everything Rudy, and Yeah, like he's, like he took lockdown seriously. Like, I mean, like he barely left his house,
Oh, really?
and is still sort of in that mode.
He's
And
just happy bubble world.
right, yeah, and it's just interesting to see that side of these people,
Yeah.
of these people that you see on TV and in movies and stuff like that. So it's just really interesting. I don't know and like I said, and his podcast, like the minimum are an hour.
Yeah.
I just listened to one today, which was with Kiefer Sutherland and Jason Patrick from the Lost Boys.
Ooh. Oh, that would have been great.
No, and it's cool too because it's like he talks about like sort of their careers and just sort of what they've done, but like he talks about Kiefer's music and stuff like that. And I'm a huge Kiefer Sutherland fan anyway.
Yeah. He's great.
But that went an hour 30, but it just went like that. Like before I knew it, it was over, and it was like, wow, that's a really good show, man. I mean, like that was really great.
Yeah.
So,
oh no, and those are the best. It really is. You're like, this is what? Why is it over? And you're like, oh crap, I've been listening to this for 2 hours.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, I better get back to work.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's funny. And just curious because you're up in Oregon. Yeah. And I have a lot of family that live in California and stuff. I'm out in the Midwest. I'm out in Kansas City. Okay. Our other friend Brian is in Colorado. Now, what is the aspect of the I guess post-COVID at this point almost up there in Oregon? Are things a lot looser up there now, or is everybody still pretty uptight?
I would say everybody's still pretty uptight. And one of the weird things about Oregon is, now remember initially when COVID started, like Washington got hit, right? Seattle blew up right away.
Yeah.
So Oregon was like, any minute, that's going to be us. Like, lock it down. Get in your houses. Don't go anywhere. Do nothing. Like everywhere else, toilet paper was out, whatnot. And so, but then, like, it never really crept up in Oregon, right? Yeah. And then Washington started to fall off, and then California started to hit. And then Oregon was like, oh, crap. Oh, no, it's going to happen now, guys. It really is going to happen now.
I mean, you guys are in a sandwich
Idaho.
Right. You guys just stop what you're doing. Stay in your houses. Don't go anywhere. Like they shut all the restaurants shut down, everything, right? And like it never really hit. I think the most cases we got per day was 1,200, right?
Wow.
And that was a while ago.
Yeah.
So, to say that we are overly cautious is an understatement.
Yeah.
So, like we're still restaurants are still 25% capacity right now.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
We just went to 50% here.
Right. Yeah, and that's the weird thing. Like California, there was a major hit, right?
Yeah.
And it was, and like I wasn't eligible to get vaccinated until last week. So, but California was like 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, or something like that.
I'm getting my second dose tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. I got my first dose on the first day on the second day it was available, to my age group, which was 16 up. And I go in for my second dose on the 11th. So, yeah.
And you've had no effects or nothing?
Chris is going to do nothing.
Nope.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? And I had a conversation with my Safeway checkout guy about this very issue, because I was telling him about it, and he's just like, yeah, you know what? I've worked through the entire thing. I've been smart. I haven't been stupid. I don't know that I need to do this. And you know what? I mean, to each their own. Like if you, if you feel comfortable and like if you're not being stupid, then. And if it worked for you, like if you went the entire year without getting sick, you're probably doing something right.
Yeah.
So like I said, for the people that don't want to get vaccinated, if you don't believe in it and you don't think it's going to help you, I can't argue you out of it.
Right. Well, and there's no point in arguing. You know what? The way I look at it, okay, and I do have my opinions, but
Yeah.
you know, to each their own, like you're saying, okay. And you know what? If if this thins the herd, and if the thinning is through ignorance of not wanting it, well, then there you go. Everybody's
Right.
got their time to die, and yours is going to be predestined without getting a shot. So there you go.
Well, and
Right.
I've always said that either you're going to get it or you're not. No matter what you do, all you can do is do your best.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm
Exactly.
getting the shot because why not? Who cares?
Yeah.
But at the same time, with Chris not getting his, it doesn't bother me. I'd still hang out with
No.
him.
No,
You know, like
absolutely. Like I
whatever.
said, if you're smart about it, and again, like if I've been smart and I haven't gotten sick in the last year, I'm gonna be fine being next to somebody who hasn't been. I take care of my parents. My parents moved up here right before it hit, so like I don't want to screw up and get them sick. That's
Right.
why that's why I'm doing it. But at the same time, through all this, I went over and I saw them and I hung out with them. I had dinner with them. I've hugged them. I've kissed them.
Right.
Nothing has happened.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to change anybody's opinion. I have my own opinion, like you guys have yours, and no opinion is wrong.
Right. No,
Like
it really isn't.
there's no underlying statement. There's no Twitter byline saying, Andy's opinion has not been tested with other opinions, and
So be forewarned.
right. So that's where a lot of this sort of where a lot of people sort of arguing about what's right and what's wrong here really have very limited basis. And what I like to call it's the Facebook headline school of thought, where they don't actually read the article, they just read the headline, and suddenly that's
they're an expert.
Their basis for their argument. So, I don't. Again, first, I'm not going to change anybody's opinion.
Right.
Second, if I'm going to comment on something and try to sound smart and try to sound like I know something about it, I want to read up on it.
Yeah.
And I want
absolutely.
to have a good knowledge base.
Right.
And I will never disparage anyone for voicing their own opinion or believing in something enough to tell me about it and tell me, well, this is what I'm doing and these are my reasons for doing it.
Yeah.
Man, more power to you, please.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much for sticking to something.
Yeah.
The only one I don't agree with is when people go, "Oh, it's fake."
Right.
See,
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh,
it's
no,
not
it's
fake,
not
but
fake.
I don't know how dangerous it is.
And it's now.
We've
We're about to go into another 3-hour conversation.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's pretty much it right there. Like on beyond that, like you can have any opinion, and I'm pretty much cool with you having your opinion.
Right.
I mean,
everything
else devolves into conspiracy theories, which I don't know.
Come on.
They were fun for a while when it was ancient aliens built everything, and
which that is my favorite conspiracy theory to date. Like Area 51, I'm fascinated by all that stuff. Like that's a conspiracy theory I will gladly talk about with anybody.
Oh yeah,
and chat up because man, I love that stuff.
Except that when they go, ancient people could never have built something like this, and I'm like, that's really belittling humanity's ability to have an idea and do it. These people didn't have 9-to-5 jobs. You had every day to go out and chisel away a little bit of something and get it perfect.
And have you ever put sand on stone and found how easy it is to slip?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, even a big boulder being pushed or pulled will move.
Or who knows?
It's going to take some work. But
one of my favorite conspiracy theories is the guy down in Florida, the Coral Castle. They had a device that he claims the ancient Egyptians used to move large stones. And when he died, the government went in and confiscated a bunch of stuff.
Oh.
That's the one I like. I mean, I mean, come on, man. Ancient people weren't dummies.
Well, no, I mean,
and like I said, they weren't. There was no rat race. They had all kinds of time to.
Yeah.
To think of stuff,
and they didn't have Google.
Right. Well, and we're not the smartest society, and look what we're capable of.
Exactly.
So, I mean, come on.
No, I
wear slip-on shoes.
The average. The average intelligence of the human being is pretty low, and our population's pretty big, and we managed to not die too badly every day. I mean, now we do.
Fun of me now.
S2 Marty.
I'm pretty sure those jokes were aimed at me there, Matthew. I just have a few beers every now and then, and it gives me brain damage.
Wow, I'm shocked that Fox hasn't shut this podcast down already.
I know. Well, because they have that one executive's going like, I don't think that's really Homer. I think that's just some guy with a doll.
Well, no, it's the Fox. It's the Fox exec calling Disney like, "Hey, do we have any ground here?"
Yeah, right.
And Disney's like, "No, you really don't."
Nah, just let it happen. Trust me, the $5 an hour he makes, we're fine. We're fine. We're just going to keep importing stuff from China and infecting everybody. I mean,
there you go.
Making Hollywood great again. Mm.
Oh man.
Yeah, and which I think is so funny how much. Okay. Again, that's another 3-hour-long conversation, but
right. It was a topic for another time.
China does own us. Okay,
yeah. But you do bring up an interesting thing about Fox and
China.
Disney is China. Because of Fox and Disney, I was able to watch
made of China
every Star Wars thing ever.
Yeah,
in chronological order. That would have been a great thing for your show.
Well, so and this is
insane.
Funny because we've talked about it. Now there's and you guys probably haven't heard about this, but the Machete Order. Have you heard about the Machete Order of Star Wars?
Nuh-uh.
Okay, so because of the subject matter of the prequels and how the prequels really give away Darth Vader's origin and who he was, right? So in order to keep that reveal, Empire Strikes Back, huge reveal, right? At the end of Empire Strikes Back, no, I am your father. So you watch Star Wars A New Hope, Star Wars Episode 4, and then Star Wars Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, and then you get into the prequels as a huge flashback episode. Episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then you go on to Jedi as sort of the end of the story.
Okay.
That's in the nerd culture, that is called the Machete Order of Star Wars.
But if you've seen any Star Wars movies, you know that Darth Vader is Luke's dad.
Well, I mean, it's a spoiler. It's a spoiler that can't be spoiled anymore.
Right. I mean, so what my wife did, was it last summer, Chris? We watched everything.
Sure, Matthew.
In chronological order, including all the Clone Wars cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
In the proper order, intermixed with, you watch this movie up to this point, and then watch these 2 episodes, and then go back to the movie.
Oh, there you go.
Mind-blowing, insane, crazy fun. Super fun.
Absolutely. And, I mean, the guy who ran the Clone Wars cartoon is like one of us, you know? So he kept it, I mean, so...
And it's not a cartoon, it's an animated series.
That is correct. Thank you so much. Sorry. Excuse me.
Action figures, not toy dolls.
Right. But, I mean, and that's, you know, as a fan of science fiction and Star Wars, I mean, that's all we could hope for.
Yeah.
You know, that's what we were hoping from, you know, the sequel series.
I wanted 9 movies. I was promised 9 movies, and I got them.
Right. Yeah.
And I love every single thing. Like people that complained about, oh, I didn't like this or that. Like whatever, dude. They gave you 9 movies
Right. Yeah.
plus. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to see Han Solo's origin story. I mean,
Right.
and
Yeah.
we're seeing the Mandalorian. We get to see more about them. Like,
Yeah. No,
which by the way is one of the greatest spaghetti westerns I've ever seen. So.
Oh my goodness. No. And we got Luke Skywalker at the end of the. I mean, that's like that
Right?
stuff. It just is brilliant, and it's great. It's really it's funny. It's a total gray area to bitch if you're a Star Wars fan, because
I love everything about it. Come on, man.
There's so much out there now, and like people complain that no, Disney's taking it all wrong. It's like, you got to understand, like if Disney didn't buy this property, there'd be nothing.
Well, take money, make like the Mandalorian,
exactly.
like some of the stuff they've done there, like it's just incredible. Like
okay, but now do you or do you not agree, Andy? Because I know Matt's opinion, that Disney really did go for the money and kind of softenized it. And I mean, I really think that the Star Wars, these last few movies could have gone, I don't know. I think I'm trying to think of the right word. I guess more intense direction than the Disney soft, happy kind of version that it ended up going in.
And before you answer, Andy, I have one word for you. 2 words. No, comma, Ewoks.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the Ewoks sucked. I hated the Ewoks. I want to punch them right in the throat, each and every one of them.
That was pre-Disney, so
with chicken poop.
And on that note, you can continue now.
Well, if I were to put on my comic guy pants and talk in the
Short
proper
pants.
Right.
Please do.
I agree that, if I were to really be picky and choosy, that were the 3 sequel movies rushed? Probably. Was Disney a little ambitious out of the gate with their schedule and wanting to do a movie once a year and do sequel trilogy offshoot? Yeah, I think they could have done it a little better just for sort of quality's sake.
Right.
When they stopped and said, you know what? No, we're going to focus on The Mandalorian and see if that's any good and run with it. But then it's funny, though, when the second The Mandalorian hits, then you have Kathleen Kennedy standing in front of a bunch of people saying, oh, yeah, we're producing 12 more shows that are going to launch on Disney Plus in the next 2 years. And you're like, you didn't learn.
And then you hear the cha-ching, cha-ching.
Well, right,
cha-ching,
but then
cha-ching.
But they've done them well. Like Rogue One.
It's
incredible.
Oh yeah, I liked Rogue One. I did.
The fact that it ends seconds before.
Hope starts. So, first quick tangent. There is a great video online that splices the end of Rogue One and the beginning of A New Hope together.
Oh, nice!
As one sort of seamless scene, and it's fantastic. Second, you said that Mandalorian's the best spaghetti western you ever saw. One of my best friends who I worked with at Cumulus, The Bone, for several years, he said that Rogue One was the best World War II movie he ever saw.
No, it's a total, I can see that.
And so
I think they did. I think they.
No, that was a fantastic movie with and so, but when I saw the sort of the Kathleen Kennedy talk about all the shows that they're going to make in the next, I'm like, there's no way that all of these see the light of day. There's no way, like we're going to get maybe, we'll probably get like 3/4 of these shows that actually get made. Like something's going to break, like something's going to go nuts. Right. But at the same time, as a Star Wars fan, looking at that lineup of stuff, you're just like, okay, we're living pretty good right now.
Like, bring it on, man! I want to see it all.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get.
Well, soak it in while you can. Yeah, I get it.
I'm gonna get all of this unique Star Wars content that I've never would have gotten from any other place. Like, there's no way Lucas was gonna sit at his ranch and say, "Yeah, I want to make 10 different shows this year."
Yeah, no,
there's no way. And so this is, what? This is great. Yeah, some of them are gonna suck. And yeah, some of them are going to hit, but you know what? I'm going to love the ones that hit, and I'm going to hate the ones that suck. And that's just me, And
I will,
and I'll probably watch all of them.
Yeah.
Well,
what pisses me off is if I've got to rewatch everything all over again in order again. Right. I'll do it. It'll be a rough 2 months, but I'll do it.
Right. Okay. Now.
No. Seriously, ask Chris.
Come on, pandemic.
We do the podcast, and Chris would be like, "So where are you at?" And I'm like, "Oh man, we're here. Like, oh, finally saw this movie."
You got your full Gandalf beard going, and you're like, "I'm on
Matt's
episode
eyes
9,
are bulging
man."
and red. And
but no, I mean,
got a piece of a pizza hanging off of him. He's like, I'm in episode 298.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to a guy that went to the theatrical release of the first 2 extended cuts of the Lord of the Rings movie to sit through the final Return of the King movie. I was in that 10-hour span.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, like,
wow.
And I did that voluntarily. I bought tickets
right there. I did not do that. We watched the movies at home.
Yeah.
And then went to the theater like that weekend to see it. But I know of a couple of people that did that, and man, more power to you if you can, and you did.
So Joe, so this is funny. So Joe, who was on our podcast, her mom is the hugest Lord of the Rings fan ever.
Oh wow!
And she needed a wingman for it.
Oh, there you go.
I was just like, you know what? I wouldn't normally do this, but you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Right on.
I'm in.
Now, as a huge fan, was she like my brother? His complaint about those movies. What about Tom Bombadil?
Oh no, absolutely. Is
she one of those? Like, what about Tom Bombadil? They didn't even talk about him.
Right. Well, there are the huge fans, so there's different levels of fandom, and we talk about this, but there's a level of fandom called the purist.
Yeah.
Right. And the purist is the person that is just not happy with any sort of iteration because they leave out one character.
Right.
And this is,
it's got to be just like the book.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is where we're getting spoiled with sort of the Disney Plus series that you can extend, now over 10 hours of TV, you can tell a story that 10 years ago or even 5 years ago would have been told in a movie trilogy that is maybe 6 hours.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
if you got lucky, I mean,
right. No, absolutely.
Like look at the Narnia books that they started making movies of. We got 2 or 3 of them, and that was it.
Right. Yeah. And so
I want them all.
Right. No, absolutely. Well, I mean, and that was I'm a huge fan of His Dark Materials, and the Golden Compass movie we got was terrible, but the TV show is brilliant because you're getting all of this time to spend with all of the different characters, right?
Yeah.
And you're actually getting the full story of everything. And that was my point, though, is that leaving Tom Bombadil out of Lord of the Rings, it just would have distracted from where they were going and what they were doing. He's a weird, but yeah, he plays a part.
my brother would go, you guys are wrong. He needed to be in there.
So Joe's mom.
For you and I'm like, whatever.
Right. So, I mean, Joe's mom was upset that he wasn't there, but it didn't detract from her experience at all, And the changes that they made with the different characters, she was okay with it, but she just loved pointing it out to other people, I actually love those people. It doesn't sour their experience in any way, shape, or form, but it's more of a conversation piece saying, hey, and it's the same thing with what happened with Game of Thrones. Like, so many characters got sent to different areas and did such a different arc from how their characters ended up. Like the story, like the books haven't even been written yet, and the show's over, right? So that's the whole point. It's more of a conversation piece saying, well, this is what happens in the books, and it's just a different experience. It's writers and directors' interpretations, and that's, as a comic book fan, that's why I love seeing Superman on TV, a Superman in the movies. They're all different versions of characters that I love.
Right.
Yeah, some hit, some don't. And I love aspects of both in certain ways. It's not going to sour my experience. Man, I'm spoiled. I've seen 2 different versions of Superman, one on TV and one in the movies this year.
Right.
I'm a total happy nerd right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the Harry Potter books and the movies. I'm a huge fan of the books.
Oh yeah.
And Chris, but I'm also a huge fan of the movies, and they're 2 separate things.
Right.
And that's how I view like the Lord of the Rings, like and the Hobbit.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well,
there's the movies, which are great, and there's the books, which are great, and they share a lot of similarities, but
right. And go ahead.
You also got the way that like Marvel tied in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with the actual movies, all the movies. I mean, like, and one led into the next movie that was coming, and you're just like, holy crap. I mean, it's like, I was in the movie theater. What was it on? Was it Winter Soldier? I think. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh, and I'm like, I'm like trying to grab the person next to me. I'm like, do you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I'm sorry, can I have your popcorn?
Right, yeah.
And they're like, what are you talking about? And you're like, this is at the end of that show. All of a sudden, and they're like, oh, yeah. Okay,
so
weirdo.
great. Now I got to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., huh?
Right.
You haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, we watched all the movies in order, but we haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh,
now great. Now my wife will be stoked because to binge watch, but
yeah. So I have been told, because I haven't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet either. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a slow burn, I heard.
Yeah, it is, but it's good. It really, the latter part of it, kind of gets a little faded. But dude, the beginning, oh man, the first couple of seasons is just dynamic. It's you just like, holy crap! Oh, this is good.
No, the way that they connected the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, we'll never see it again in any way, shape, or form. I mean, and I know that it's still going and everything, but no, they really took a lot of care and to really make it an experience, to say, no, this is all part of the same storyline, and this is all. Yeah, we go off on our little adventures here and there, but it's Lebowski's rug, man. It really tied the room together, and it literally just, that is such a crazy undertaking to keep all that together. But I mean, some of my favorite Marvel stuff were the Netflix series, like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and that stuff. I mean, and that tied very loosely to the cinematic universe, to where it was just mentions, but it was still there. So, I mean, they were incredible and they still are incredible on how they're handling their stuff. So
yeah, they've taken a lot of care, and I know Stan Lee was very involved in the character development and the way that like I just saw, what was it, the other day? I saw Robert Downey Jr.'s screen test to become Iron Man. For Iron Man, and it was like, holy crap! I mean, he went in and just nailed it. Right? I mean, and that's what they said. They all said, even though they kept checking out other people, they were just like, he's it. He's it. I mean, he came in and he said, I knew it was going to be the thing of a lifetime. He's like, I knew if I committed to this, it was me, and I was there. I mean, you could not have picked a better person for that role ever.
No,
I mean, his past. I mean, he's so real life into
Yeah, Tony Stark.
Tony Stark image,
Oh yeah.
And I think they've done that with a lot of the characters, like Natasha.
Oh yeah.
Scarlett Johansson just so embodies. Now the Hulk, they kept trying and trying. Edward Norton,
Yeah.
I think, did all right, but dude, Mark Ruffalo like encompassed everything about Bruce Banner.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just his whole the from what you read in the comics to how he brought it to life. I mean, it's you 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 would think that Mark Ruffalo literally went from episode 1 to right up into the movie. I mean, you're just
Right.
like, wow.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
I totally agree. I loved Norton's take on Bruce Banner, but you're right. Ruffalo was there, and I'm excited to see Scarlett Johansson in the Black Widow movie whenever that gets released.
yeah,
Supposed to come, I think, in May or something, or June or something like that. But yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, and that's another great thing about Disney Plus and the sort of these now that they're moving to shows with all of these characters is the sort of, like I said, the deeper dive that we get to spend time with, now the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and just center around them. And we get to see who they are and what they do. And I mean, God, WandaVision was so good. And
we haven't finished. We still have
I'm not done with
we
it.
still have like
I'm not done
one
with
or
it.
two episodes. So
okay. It's such a
We'll
great
get there.
show, and it's
So good.
really good. And yeah, like it's a good time to be a nerd. That's where I'm getting.
Dude, so much,
yeah.
so much. And
I think that you hit the nail on the head right there. It is
Yeah.
it is.
fantastic time to be a nerd.
Yeah.
And you guys cover a lot of this on your show, the Rum and Regrets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
I'm
We,
reiterating that for anybody listening and that listens in later.
I appreciate that. Yeah. If there's a show that is, I mean, pretty much if it's the show du jour or if it's the movie du jour, like we're gonna talk this Thursday about Mortal Kombat that just came out because I'm a huge video gamer and like Mortal Kombat is my game.
Right.
Like if new Mortal Kombat version comes out, I am first in line. Like I'm at the midnight release. I'm there. I'm getting it. Right.
Have you seen the movie yet?
I did. I watched the
Because
movie.
I haven't. I wasn't really into the game. I didn't watch any of the other movies, but I read a review on it that said that it's the cutscene that just won't end.
Pretty much. No.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And,
If it was made, it's a fan movie.
right.
It's definitely like there was something in every scene for me who has ingested pretty much every level of Mortal Kombat that they're like,
Right.
I'm Christian in Captain and the Winter Soldier. Like I'm hitting my wife saying, "Oh my God, that's that thing," and and so and that's what I was during the movie, and so I could totally tell. But she was just like, "Wait, that's something? No, wait, that's something."
Yeah.
No.
You're like, duh.
And
It's
I totally get it.
everything. Oh my Lord.
Right. So
Will you please pay attention and shut up now?
Right. Yeah. But our last podcast was more, and because like Joe hasn't had a whole lot of time to catch up on Falcon and Winter Soldier, so like we were immediately going to do like a mid-season review and a full season review of that, but she just hasn't had time, so that's why our last podcast was a general. We called it, and we just happened to record on 420, so it was a state of the stoned union for us.
Oh,
So-
well,
Nice.
you missed our 420 show. Matt was on Soma, and I was on this hydrocodone that's starting to wear off. And let me tell you, it was an interesting time. That's all I gotta say.
We had a great time. I enjoyed myself.
We talked about car holes and designer jeans. Yeah, it went all over the place, but it was great. And highly rated.
But no,
especially for everybody.
Like if it's a big, like we all watched Godzilla versus Kong when it came out, but we meant to do a review of that, but it didn't line up for schedules and stuff like that. So because Joe's dealing with some family stuff right now, so she's had to take a couple Tuesdays off, and we podcast by backdraft rules. You go, we go. So if one person's off, then we can't do it.
So. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Well, hey, that's only fair though. That's cool.
Right. Yeah. So
see me, I'm kind of monarchist, so I just.
Well, this is the Random Kristian show, so
but if we had to wait for Brian, we might never do a show.
Right. Can I tell you how jealous I am that you have merch? Like I've been trying to get our merch, I've been trying to get it designed and there for at least a year and a half, and I can't find the time.
He's got a better logo that he refuses to use.
Kind of came up to me, and I couldn't sleep one night, and so I popped in, and I was playing around with this thing on this site, and I'm like, ooh. Nice. Of course, the first version wasn't approved by somebody.
It looked like an Easter egg. Come on, man.
It's a graphic. Anyway.
That looked like an Easter egg.
So we're totally spoiled. Like Joe's a graphic artist. That's what she does for her job.
Oh, there you go.
We had 12 versions of a logo that we could choose from, within a week of starting the podcast, which was amazing. Right. Well, no, actually, we settled on one pretty quick because Joe and I are very easygoing, but Nate is sort of very decisive in what he likes and what he doesn't like. So he was able to eliminate quite a bit right off the bat.
I gotcha.
Right on.
But you know what?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
If we didn't have Nate on the cast, nothing would get decided though. That is Nate's brilliance, is that he really knows what he likes, and thank God for that, because if he didn't, we'd still be deciding on a name.
Right. Oh, God,
we'd be 3 years into a podcast has no name, which I think has been taken already. I'm pretty sure I followed that.
That would be a good
podcast.
Right
I'm sure we follow them on Twitter now.
All right. So Andy, so now I'm not trying to be rude, but we need to start kind of wrapping it up here.
Of course.
And now I want to replug your show here, Rum and Regrets. Now you're on every other week, and you're what are your venues that you're on now, bud?
So we're everywhere. Anywhere you can get a podcast, you can just search for Rum and Regret, and we are there. rumandregret.com is our main website. We obviously on Twitter at rum_regret. Look for us on Facebook at the Rum and Regret podcast, and then Apple Podcasts, Odyssey, Podbean. Yeah, literally any place you can get podcasts. Look for the Rum and Regret. We were places that I didn't even put us that just picked us up.
Right.
And then I got us on. I got us on radio.com and Odyssey because, I work for them, but then we were testing the podcast submission form. And it's I'm going to type in my podcast and just see what happens as a thing. And we didn't. I got an email back 2 days later saying, "Hey, your podcast has been accepted into the." All right,
dude, nice.
I'm just gonna leave it up there and let it do its thing. And so, but we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon. I literally spent an afternoon and added us to any place that would take a podcast.
Nice.
So
nice. Yeah. Right on. Yeah, I got to have time to do that. I went through Anchor, which distributes it to several different places, and that's as far as I've gotten besides YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and Facebook. So we kissed off LinkedIn. LinkedIn was just a waste of time.
Are we still on Facebook Live? We're live on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Which
that's
I know.
I'm jealous. I really want to get into the live game.
Yeah, it's fun, man, and I think a lot of people like it, and it opens it up to a lot of people. So, it is what it is, and we have a great audience, and it's growing more and more every day, and so we have a good time, and that's what it's all about. And we just try to make everybody's lives a little bit better.
Oh man, no, I appreciate this. This was a lot of fun for me. I don't know, really natural talking to you guys. I had a lot of fun today. This was great. And again, the show promotion is literally just icing on the cake here. This was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
We would love to have you guys on again. Let's we'll rebook something for in the future here, and
That sounds great.
We'll get together, and I can't really drink 14 years sober, so
Of course, no, absolutely.
But I'll save some hydrocodone and come on your show or something. Has anybody seen the lizard like me? But yeah, we had a blast, man, and this was awesome, dude. Yeah, it was very natural. Yeah. It's great, and your show is amazing. Rum and Regrets. Anywhere you guys get podcasts, make sure you check them out, please. On that note, we're gonna start wrapping things up here because I got the official message like it's time to end it. So Matt, I know you got a thing to do, so
but luckily I didn't know I forgot what time, so I could stick around for the whole thing. So.
Right on. And hey, look at that, we went almost 2 hours, so there you go.
Wow.
Hey.
Yeah, and it went like that.
Like that.
So
right.
It's magic. Yeah. See, that's called a hook. That's the
hook.
Boom. Money.
See, now can Penn and Teller figure out our podcast?
No, hell no. So we get the F
They're not going to know how we did it.
That's right.
We win.
Fooled us. F you. All right, guys. Well, Andy, again, thank you so much for stopping in with us today and spending time, man. I love it. Love your show. Keep up the great work, and we will talk to you soon, my man.
Sounds great, Kristian. Thanks again, Matt.
It was nice meeting you, man.
Nice to meet you as well. Yeah, let's do this again soon.
Yes, sir. All right, my man.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Take care, guys.
See you, buddy.
Welcome.
Matthew, thank you again, as always, brother, for all your help and
no problem.
Conversation, my man. Enjoy yourself and go get to doing what you're doing. Remember, hippies use the back door.
That's right, man.
All right, brother. Peace out. And to all of you out there, thank you so much for tuning in and checking us out. Don't forget, chicken poop, lip junk, buy it, and tell them that, you found out about it on the Random Kristian show, so maybe they'll sponsor me and send me a case of chicken poop lip junk. And 5 Point Skate Shop out in Ventura, California. Make sure if you're ever out on the Central Coast, go into Ventura, right in downtown. Tell Dave, tell Brad, hey, what's up? I need a skateboard. I need a shirt. I need wheels. I need trucks. They're going to hook you up. All the greatest stuff there. Also Consolidated Skateboards. Check them out online. And we will be back next week. Hopefully I'm going to have I Live in Bree. They are also a podcast. And they do a lot of great, fun stuff. These two ladies, they're just hilarious. They'll crack you up. I Live in Bree, hopefully going to be on soon. Chris Sutter from Rage Room or Rage Road about the legalization of marijuana and the decriminalization. He has actually had an accident, so he's going to be out for a few weeks, but he told me he's going to be back on. He'll let us know as soon as he can. So if you're watching, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, follow us. Hey, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, and in the meantime, take care of yourselves, everybody. Be good to each other. Spread a little love. We all need a little love, especially in this day and age. All right, guys, so take care of yourselves. Love you. Peace out till next week. Have a good one.
He took off. It usually sticks around, I guess. I guess the boss really was saying...